I'm a Johannian.
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 I am a Johannian.
I'm a Johannian.
I'm a Johannian.
I'm a Johannian. I am a Johannian.
We are Johannians.
St. John's is an extraordinary place. It was founded in 1898, just before the outbreak of the Second Anglo-Boer War. And when the war broke out, it closed. It reopened immediately after the war in 1902, but struggled. And a group of men who were Anglo-Catholic priests of the Community of the Resurrection came in and saved the school. They worked for 30 years for the love of God. And the history of the school is called A Venture of Faith. And essentially, we survive and exist on that wonderful legacy left by those great men. The second founder of the school, Father James Oakey Nash of the Community of the Resurrection, in the school prayer, talks about sending young men out rightly trained in body, mind and character to serve God well in church and state. St. John's is so much more than the classroom. We aim to produce boys who have a value system, who are well-rounded and who can contribute to the common good, and become citizens that go out and build a better future for everybody. Essential to a great school is a great staff, and we spend a lot of time and money and resources on developing our staff. Teachers really go beyond the call of duty, and one sees it in the work of the academy, one sees it in the exciting work that goes on beyond the curriculum, in the clubs and the societies, the participation in competitions locally and internationally.
St. John's is heavily invested in staff development, both at a local level within our own school, but also in sharing what we have learned and sharing our expertise with schools around us through curriculum development initiatives and through programs like the Global Programme.
I'm incredibly fortunate to be able to work at St. John's College because St. John's has a belief in we are a school for Africa. One of the things that the foundation has done for me personally is nominate me for the Global Teacher Prize. I was very fortunate to be selected to be one of the top 50 finalists in the world and got to go to Dubai for the annual conference, and it was an opportunity for us from St. John's to really make global connections with people that are trying to make similar differences in their communities.
Initially, I felt very nervous standing up in front of a classroom and speaking to a group of boys, but as time has progressed, I've been able to observe a number of fantastic teachers in the maths department and not only observe them, but learn from them and be able to speak to them.
Great schools are built on great foundations. St. John's cannot sustain itself on fee income alone, and it's through the work of the foundation that we are able to offer our boys the most wonderful facilities. Recently, we have committed a great deal of capital to developing our infrastructure. Last year saw the opening of a wonderful new pre-preparatory school, which is probably the finest school of its type in the country. It's airy, it's spacious, it's ecologically friendly, and it's a wonderful place for little boys to start school in.
Mark Penchance needs to be commended on his design. It's very environmentally friendly. We've taken water heating from the earth to keep it hot in the winters. We don't really even need to turn that heating on though, because the light is so beautiful, so the classrooms are warm. In the summer, when you've opened both doors, there's a beautiful breeze through the classroom, so they really are very user-friendly and very easy to learn. One of the things that I'm most proud of though is our environmental gardening. The whole garden was re-landscaped and it's been completely indigenous, so it's very water-wise, it doesn't require much maintenance. So we've taught the boys that this is a gift to be cherished and nurtured and used, but loved at the same time and looked after, to pass on as a legacy for everybody else.
We've also built a new gymnasium, which is cleverly tucked in under Endean Field. So it's not obtrusive, but it is an extraordinary facility with lots of space. And this goes towards developing our boys in body, mind and character. Part and parcel of a St. John's boy's life, an integral part of his day, is sport. And we've built a wonderful new indoor cricket centre, and you can see immediately the impact that has had on our cricket, with boys going on to represent both the province and the South African under-19 side recently. Having built this wonderful new pre-preparatory school, boys now proceed to the prep school, which is the original building of St. John's. And we have exciting plans in place to expand the prep and to develop it so that boys can have an environment which is equal to that which they've come from in the pre-prep. The music department at St. John's has shown extraordinary growth over the past 30 years. And we have about 400 boys actively involved in the college in music, either playing an instrument or involved in choirs. And we've outgrown the music school that was built 30 years ago. And so that's also an exciting new development down the line that we look forward to. We are an extraordinarily privileged school, but with that privilege, there has to be a great responsibility. We live in one of the most unequal societies in the world, and unless we build bridges between the gap between rich and poor, we won't have a sustainable future. St. John's remains committed to being a world-class Christian school in and for Africa, and we are reliant on the generosity of people going forward in order to sustain that vision.
The Centenary program was started when the school turned 100, and the committee at the time organising the Centenary realised the long-term aims of a school like St. John's College and developed the Centenary program and scholarships. We look for boys from all walks of life and from all areas in South Africa, boys that are going to make a huge difference to St. John's as well. So while the boys are here, not only do they bring their cultural diversity, different ideas, different perspectives on things, but they also excel at the school. We've had many that have been heads of houses, captains of rugby, captains of other sport. Often these boys are top all-rounders, they do well academically. We've had a number of these boys become provincial sportsmen and SA sportsmen. So we're really proud of their achievements, and in a large way, they've added to the school ethos, they've added to the kudos for St. John's as well. This is a massive program, and to give you an idea of the scope of the program, we've had 10 centenary boys go through the school each year since the inception of the program 16 years ago. At present, we have 48 boys in the program from grade 8 through to matric, and a rough cost for each boy is about 250,000 a year. This includes tuition, boarding, school levies, uniforms, transport, books and stationery, trips and tours, medical aid and sports expenses.
I was very fortunate during my time at St. John's to be funded by the Centenary Scholarship and to be a Centenary Scholar. Having not been on campus for so long, coming back to campus is always something which is tear-jerking for me, because I remember the times as a boarder running up and down these particular stairs or going down and playing rugby match and supporting the first rugby team. And I think something which I always tell my friends and family is that if there was like a period of my life that I could live and repeat, it would probably be my years at St. John's. Following my time at St. John's, I realized life couldn't get much better. But I then went down to University of Cape Town and studied actuarial science and statistics, and I was there for 4 years. Thereafter, I was fortunate enough to win a Rhodes Scholarship to the University of Oxford, where I studied my master's for 2 years, particularly focusing on policy and education and technology.
The Academy started in 2009 by a couple of teachers from St. John's College who decided that they should try to help the community surrounding St. John's College. So they invited students from grade 9 from the inner city to apply, and if they showed potential in maths, science and English, they were then invited to join the Academy. So the boys come every afternoon straight after school. They have normal schooling at their school in Hillbrow, and then they walk across to St. John's College. They have a meal here, and then they go and have lessons with the St. John's teachers in maths, science, English and computers. The St. John's teachers, maths and science and English departments are extremely happy to assist with this program. They love engaging with the boys, and of course this program goes much further than the classroom. We take them on outings to places like Saibono and the Apartheid Museum, and then the highlights of the year are the camps. The grade 10s go on an orientation camp so that they can understand what the Academy means, and then in grade 11 they go on a leadership camp, and then the big camp is the revision camp in matric. And then another big thing that we do is once they get into grade 12, we assist them to apply for tertiary institutions, and we pay for their applications. And then we try as hard as we can to find them bursaries and internships and learnerships. And last year we got 75% of them actually were given some sort of assistance to get to the tertiary institutions that they wanted to go to.
In 2012, I was given the opportunity to join the St. John's Academy. The teachers were amazing. They're good at motivating us as students. They would teach us things that we never used to get taught in our schools. Being around positive people who always want to do better also motivates you to want to work hard and do better. I managed to get myself 6 distinctions in matric. I was awarded scholarship in 2015 to do A-levels. Cambridge exams where I did further maths, pure mathematics and physics. I'm now doing actuarial science at Wits.
Riolima is the isiSotho word which means to grow or to sow seeds. And that is exactly what we are doing at St. John's. We are growing young teachers so that they can qualify, gain the experience at St. John's, and then move on either into other independent schools or into state schools or back into their own communities in Orange Farm.
These interns work for us in the morning, very hard, and they study part-time through UNISA. They generally complete a B.Ed degree in that time, and the experience they gain by working in the prep classrooms is invaluable. At the end of their 4-year stay, they have experience that they wouldn't have gained in a full-time university situation. And we found that the interns moving out of that situation are welcomed by the schools where they move, because they bring a wealth of experience and their knowledge of all of the St. John's structures and expertise to those new schools.
I chose teaching because I have a love for kids. The experience at St. John's was first overwhelming to me because they've got great facilities here which I didn't have at my school.
I've gotten to meet a lot of different teachers, and from every teacher that I've been with, I've learned different styles and techniques of how to teach the children.
I've always wanted to make a difference in the country, and especially with kids, because they are the future of the country.
I'm looking forward to the future in terms of me being able to give back to my community and make sure that we produce more role models within the community so that we can be a united front and help push this country forward in the best way possible.
I cannot explain the heartwarming joy that I feel and see when I see these young men and women be given these opportunities, and when I actually see them in action in the classroom, interacting with the boys. It is just phenomenal.
One of the privileges we have of being at St. John's, living in Johannesburg and being South Africans is we have ongoing opportunities to impact on people's and communities' lives. And one of the great projects we're involved with at the moment is the Wilds Precinct upgrade. St. John's has been part of this precinct for over 100 years. The Wilds was declared an area to be treasured in the 1920s, and in 1981 was declared a national monument. And we're very proud to be involved in the upgrading of not only the Wilds, but the areas around it as well. And we'll see a lot more interaction between the pupils and the teachers at St. John's with the community around us.
The success of the St. John's Foundation is not reliant on just one or two individuals. It is about St. John's as a community. The parents, the old boys, the current pupils, the teachers, all working together, enabling the foundation to grow so that we can support St. John's, the school, forever.
What we are now starting to see is we're starting to see these boys giving back to the foundation and giving back to the school. So this is a program that is coming full circle at the moment. And we look forward to our centenary boys sending their sons to St. John's College to complete this circle that we've begun.
My role at St. John's has changed somewhat in the 11 years that I've been here, and staff development has become a really critical part of what I do. It's also the part that I absolutely love the most. Watching staff grow and develop into confident, accomplished teachers brings me more pleasure than just about anything else I do. I'm deeply grateful for the ongoing support of Council and the Foundation, who make all of these exciting ventures possible.
We hope that by contributing to the St. John's Foundation, you will realize that that contribution will go towards developing not only our school and community, but South Africa as a whole.
I've never been in an environment before where the learners and the teachers are also focused on one common goal, and that is ensuring the best quality of education for the boys and also developing them in a holistic sense.
Thank you to the St. John's community, both the college itself, the funders, the old boys, and the boys I studied with. I thank you for turning a boy into a man. I look forward to giving back myself one day.
I'm struck by the beauty of this school. It's an inspiring place in which to live and work, and for the boys to go to school here is an extraordinary privilege. As the 15th headmaster of St. John's, I feel humbled by what has gone before me. I often say to the boys that we hold the baton for a brief moment in this race, and it's incumbent on all of us to build on the wonderful legacy that has gone before us, to build a better future for us all.